Ronnie Pickering's made over $10,000 from being an angry dickhead on the road for only 3 minutes. But why did he only make $10,000? After all, this video promised over $1 million, right? Even I struggled to find out why. So, I've done a bit of research into this, and what I found out next was actually pretty shocking. The person that recorded and posted the entire road rage was actually the victim himself and not Ronnie. So as a result, the victim gets the revenue money from the video, while Ronnie on the other hand just gets the fame for starring in the victim's video. What I also realized too was that Ronnie himself even opened up and admitted on Hall Live just days later after his viral incident that he had regretted this whole incident from ever happening and that he had made himself look bad in the video. When he said this, what he also admitted to as well was him not being in the business long enough to see holy shit results from it, which is in the millions, and quitting the business right after he even started. So if you clicked on this video because you want to escape your 9 to 5, you're a complete beginner, and want to make your first million in this untapped but fast growing industry, then pay close attention, because I'm about to break down Ronnie's exact blueprint step by step on how to make your first $1,067,420 by becoming a real piece of shit and starting road rages with a bunch of random strangers that you don't even know of, and turning that instinct into a multi-million-dollar asset that constantly pays you for the long term. And then I'll be sharing you my special secret sauce that I've been secretly using for my own business for the last 5 years now that has allowed me to go from just $1 million to over $100 million a year fully on autopilot without ever needing to start or do any of the road rages myself. But to understand how, we need to go back to where this all stemmed from. It was September 21st, 2015 in Hull, England. A man in the red Citroen was following a motorcyclist who appeared to cut him off at a roundabout intersection. He started honking and yelling at the cyclist to move out of the way as they were about to keep driving. And then, as the cyclist was about to turn right into a residential neighborhood, the same man behind him before started honking and being an ass to the cyclist again. And that's when the most viral part of this road rage occurred next. The man tried to brake check the cyclist to a stop after they had made the right turn and then leans out of his window and screams, to the cyclist, but the cyclist had no idea who he even was, nor did he know what was going on. And then Ronnie screams,
Ronnie Pickering!
Oh!
Ronnie Pickering!
Oh!
Ronnie Pickering!
Who the fuck's that?
as loud as he fucking can to the cyclist. But little did Ronnie know that the cyclist he was arguing with had a camera strapped to his head recording him the whole time. So, as you may already know what happens next, he posted the footage on social media as he got back home, and the video goes extremely viral. In fact, so viral that Unilad and Lad Bible started promoting the video worldwide rather than locally, which leads us to the first step of asshole monetization, and that is to stop seeing people as people. When you are inside of a car, your brain stops processing other drivers as regular people and starts seeing them as obstacles instead, because nobody cares about obstacles. I mean, all they do is get in your way and make you lose your shit. But it's what psychologists like to call this de-individuation. For context, it's basically where someone randomly loses their shit all because they're stuck in a crowd of some sort, which also includes being on the road surrounded by other drivers as well. Research from 2025 also shows that being inside of a car creates what scientists call a psychological exoskeleton. You basically feel protected inside your car, and therefore kills your empathy and turns you into Mr. Wheelie from a Disney Goofy cartoon. Ronnie wasn't just some angry cocksucker who hates his life while driving, but rather he was memorable. And the other key here is to create a catchphrase. When you create a catchphrase for yourself, you are creating an unexpected phrase in an unexpected situation that can be very repeatable, memeable, and often reputable. Ronnie's genius, even if it was completely unintentional from the start, was his circular logic. When the motorcyclist asked, "Who?" all Ronnie had to do was scream his name even louder, as if he was Winston Churchill, except he was a 54-year-old taxi driver from Branchholm, so therefore, nobody knew who he was. But that's what made him perfect from the get-go, and just within weeks after the video was posted, his name became a worldwide sensation. On BBC News, Australian media, the viral concept here was pretty simple. An aggressor versus a calm cameraman. That's the algorithm's favorite dynamic. So step 1, stop seeing people as people, and create yourself a catchphrase. Make it look ridiculous, stupid, repeatable, but mostly reputable. But however, just following the step alone isn't going to be enough to pay your bills entirely. This is where road raging can get pretty complex here, and it runs on something called a fundamental attribution error. When you make a mistake, everything is sunshines and rainbows to you. The world never ends, nobody gets pounded or kicked in the no-no square, including yourself, and you get a nice pat on the back for making a mistake, because who gives a rat's ass about traffic laws, safety, other people, and what they think about you anyways? They're not important, only you are. But when someone else makes a mistake, it becomes a patty flip. Now, they're the fucking idiots, because they did it all on purpose to you. The world ends, they get kicked in the squares, and deserve to fight to the death with you because fuck them. This is the process of building and protecting your massive ego. You judge others by their actions while judging yourself by your intentions. And to stay pissed off, never give them the benefit of the doubt. 66% of drivers who experience aggressive driving respond with asshole behavior themselves. So as you can see, it's practically a feedback loop. When someone cuts you off, you assume that they're an asshole, so therefore, you start brake checking them, and in return, they pull up next to you and say,
Fuck you! You fucking
out loud while flipping you off at the same time. But here's the thing, they should have never done that to you. So now you feel more disrespected and pissed off than you've ever been before, and therefore you start throwing a thing or two at them, or possibly even 3 because they pissed you off, so why not? And now you are both playing chicken at 80 miles per hour, and it's all for the sake of protecting your ego from being demolished by one single person. After the video went viral, Ronnie started looking like he was cashing in. The TV interviews he was getting, radio appearances, event invitations, reports of merchandise, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn getting starstruck, and a Citroen being auctioned for thousands of dollars on end due to his fame. And you might be saying, oh, so the wealth favors the characters I see. But believe it or not, it is actually not the case for this incident, because the truth was, Ronnie never made any money from the viral footage at all. And he even said it himself, I made no money from it. The guy who uploaded it probably made some money, but I didn't see a penny. But why didn't Ronnie get anything from the footage? Well, that's because he never filmed it, nor did he upload it in the first place. It was the motorcyclist, aka Steve Middleton, that got the ad revenue instead, while Ronnie, on the other hand, just gets the shame. Those TV interviews he had were mostly unpaid, and the club appearances, maybe a free drink if he's even lucky. The internet didn't even make him a millionaire, but rather turned him into a target in the punchline. So the key takeaway here is to pick up a camera and start recording and posting your road rages on YouTube and other platforms as well. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you're gonna get a whole lot of hate comments for doing all this, but we're not focused on the comments here. We're focused on going viral for your road rage stunts and turning that into a multi-million-dollar business that consistently pays you even while you sleep. The next step to becoming a successful road rager is to start treating your car as an extension of your body and not just a machine that simply gets you from point A to point B. When someone invades your lane, your amygdala starts reacting as if some dickhead just blew up your entire house. I call this the territorial effect. And research from Stanford even shows that when someone cuts you off, your heart rate spikes and your prefrontal cortex completely shuts down. And when it does all that, you can no longer think. Instead, you are losing your goddamn mind. So why did Ronnie lean out of his window and challenge a stranger to a bare knuckle fight? That's because of the steel exoskeleton. The car was basically his armor suit, a psychological shield that makes you very invincible. Research also shows that people in convertibles tend to rage less than the people in roofed vehicles, and that's because without a roof, they feel exposed. And Ronnie was raging inside of a Citroen tank, which is completely roofed, so therefore he felt pretty untouchable throughout his entire road rages. As long as you are sitting in your car at all times, you can make any of your road rages go viral and become a piece of shit without ever needing to step out and become physical with any stranger you come across. The cyclist was a whole lot younger and fitter than Ronnie was in the video, so as you may know, he basically had the capability to kick anyone's ass in any fist fight he gets dragged into by anyone. But Ronnie didn't give a rat's ass, because inside of his car, he felt like a champion. When the cyclist cut his ass off, Ronnie's amygdala lit up and bursted like 1,000 volcanoes all erupting at once. It became a declaration of war to him. So like any other pieces of shits on the road, he responded loudly and aggressively. To make money off of your road rages, you have to live in constant perceived victimhood. Every lane change is an insult to your ego, and you have to believe that the world is out to eat your ass. But living like that every day, it'll destroy you. But is it worth the money? Possibly. What viewers like to see more of is more actionable road rages that involves being more physical with a stranger on foot rather than just sitting in your car like a fucking pussy. So if you want to get the highest virality score possible for your road rages, then you need to start brake checking these motherfuckers like it's no tomorrow. Brake checks are the most greatest passive aggressive move of all time, and it's what psychologists call this using your vehicle as a weapon of instruction, except for the fact that nobody ever learns a goddamn lesson from a brake check. Well, maybe except for hitting you faster, but if you do plan on implementing this step, then be careful, because according to the AAA Foundation, 37% of all aggressive driving incidents involve a firearm or some other weapons that are capable of murder. Like literally 37%. So when you brake check someone, you're literally picking up a chance card from Monopoly of whether or not that person has a gun. But let's just say for now, they don't have a gun, or just simply won't shoot you. But now you're both furious at each other since you brake checked them, so they start tailgating you harder than your ex, and you probably start brake checking them again. And now you're both putting innocent lives in danger on the streets as you and the stranger try to bump each other out until someone gives. Research shows that aggressive driving has caused over 66% of all traffic fatalities. Not drunk driving, not texting, all for being an aggressive piece of shit. But it gets worse, a whole lot worse actually, because road rage in general has been spreading like a virus. Road raging in general is very contagious and often very saturated, because if you yell at driver A and they start cutting off driver B, and then driver B starts tailgating driver C, well, now the entire interstate is a complete war zone. But worst of all, you run the chance of actually getting into a major car accident, as well as a high probability of being arrested and taken to jail if caught or investigated for aggressive and reckless driving, which can put an end to your road raging career. Research from 2025 shows that one angry driver can trigger a chain reaction for miles and miles on end. You are practically a coronavirus spreader of chaos, and the 50% of drivers who do witness aggressive driving often respond back to them with aggressive behavior also. So as you can tell, a single response can turn into a complete domino effect. But luckily for Ronnie, it never came to that. Despite the recognition he has had from his road rage, he almost rarely made any wells from it. But outside of his road raging sensation, he was working as a regular taxi driver and was actually making quite a decent living for himself. He makes an average annual salary of $28,152 from his taxi driving career, and his net worth right now as of 2022 is $228,359, and he lives in a rented 2-bedroom bungalow. So even though he was able to make a decent living out of what he's currently making, the fame from his road rage kept haunting him to this day, and was rarely breaking past 1,000 for his public shame. And it gets worse, because in 2017, Ronnie punched a man whom he believed was a drug dealer and got charged with assault for that. So he had to pay a £100 fine to avoid prison. And in 2018, he went insanely viral again for getting knocked out outside of a pub in Branchholm. Although the guy who punched Ronnie had later made an apology video to him, now he has to deal with getting publicly shamed for getting knocked out at a pub as well. And all that publicity was taking a toll on his employment status. Because another thing too is that most companies won't hire some famous angry douche off of the internet to work in their establishments, and the reason for that should already make a lot of sense to you. It is all to protect their establishments, their workers, and in most cases Ronnie. I mean, really think about that for a second here. If Ronnie was able to get hired to any company out there, let's just say Julasco for an example here, a bunch of strangers, customers and workers would want to start rage baiting him, knowing that he is short-tempered from his road rage stunt. Some may just want to get selfies from him, while others may just want to knock him out for some reason. But regardless, as a road rager yourself, this is a massive price you'll have to pay in order to become a successful road rager. And that price is your employment status and the way you live the rest of your life forever. Because once you start, there is no going back. When you start posting videos of yourself road raging with a bunch of different strangers, you are basically convincing the entire world, including the government and businesses, that you are a fucking asshole and that they should stay away from you at all costs, whether if it's on the road or anywhere in public. Because nobody wants to work or surround themselves with major assholes. And if you made it this far into this video, you've shown me just how serious and dedicated you are to escaping your 9-to-5 and making your first million as a full-time road rager. Most people would have clicked away by now, and for that, you deserve to hear out my special secret sauce, as promised from the beginning of this video, that has allowed my business to make over $100 million a year. Not 1 million, 100 million. And I'm able to do all this without having to start any road rages myself, go viral, become a mental piece of shit, or even risk any jail time, car accident, accidents, my employment statuses, or even put my public reputations on the line. When I say this is gonna blow all your minds, I really mean it, and I'm about to expose each and every one of my secrets to you right here and then in the next section that's going to change how you view this business model forever. As you may already tell from the first two words of the title of this section, my secret to success in this business is not to be road raging, doing dumb shit, or even being in this business in the first place. Did you all really think I was serious about it this whole time? You absolute buffoon. There is no such way to make money with this, and it would be maliciously unethical to be doing this if there was. But seriously though, if you had real thoughts of actually attempting this from the start, please for the love of God, do not. In fact, never road rage at all, because road raging in general doesn't make you look tough. In fact, it makes you look fucking stupid and low IQ. I mean, look at Ronnie. He became a legend for only 3 minutes straight for his douchebag behavior, and it costed him everything. And the $100 million a year recipe I promised earlier, just start a whole different business model that is actually ethical and doesn't involve turning yourself into a major asshole, or doing something incredibly low IQ like drop shipping, starting a roof cleaning business, starting some sort of brand, whatever it may be. Just start that business, get successful with it, do it long term, and you will reach your first $100 million in no time. But most importantly, never quit, even when things get pretty tough. But if you want to know how to not road rage instead, just do the complete opposite of every step I've taught you in this video. Just don't be a dickhead, take a couple deep breaths, count to 10, never engage when someone escalates, pull over and call the cops if needed, use your turn signal, or better yet, get a car air freshener. Depending on the scent you use, they can help reduce your stress, mood, and aggression behind the wheel by simply just smelling and breathing through scent. It basically helps you drive more peacefully and relaxed while making you more alert on the road. I have linked you to 2 different types of car air fresheners, with one that I personally use for myself in the description below. And no, I'm not affiliated to either one of them, as I'm only recommending them for goodwill. The first one being the diffuser that sits in your cup holder and blasts you scent on autopilot, and comes with 4 different scents of your choosing. Although the quality and the features on it are very top tiered, it is the most expensive one to get, as it not only costs to get the diffuser itself, but to replace the cartridges for when the scent runs out as well. But if you want to go a bit cheaper while maintaining the exact same quality as the diffuser, then go with what I use, which is the Air Jungle vent clips. Each pack comes with 6 vent clips, with each of them lasting up to a whole month if they're used responsibly. With all 6 in the pack, it puts the duration for each pack up to 6 months long, which is about almost the same as the diffuser. All you do is rip the top tape off of the clip and then clip that on an air vent somewhere around your dashboard and adjust the scent level with the slider on top as it flows. The brighter you set it to, the stronger the scent, but that also means you'll run out of scent faster, so use it wisely. But best of all, it only costs $15 a pack, and you only have to spend that every half a year depending on your usage. And there are more flavors to choose from with this option compared to the diffuser, which is why I personally love it and would highly go with this option. But as always, it's entirely up to you. Those are just suggestions I have, and the links for them will be in the description below. And as mentioned before, they're not affiliated, they're all for goodwill, and plus, I care about you all, and I want to prevent future road rages from happening as much as possible, so you're welcome. But anyways, we can either choose to be on the dark side or on the Jedi side by the end of this day. Ronnie Pickering's story was basically a warning sign to us all. One single outburst for 3 whole minutes had made him famous with hundreds of millions of views, but to end up with $0 by the end of it, and rather pay the motorcyclist bills instead. But even if it did make him some money, I can almost guarantee you that he never got rich from it either. The only reward Ronnie got from this was making himself into a bigger target for people to go after, and yet people still mock him, quote him, and even recognize him to this day as well, and he hates it a lot. So don't let that be you. Road rage has killed over 300 people and injured more than 12,000 people since 2013. All for what? To prove a point? To boost your ego? It ain't worth it, man. The most alpha move you can make right now is to arrive at your destination safely with a calm heart rate and a clean driving record. And the second best move you can make right now too is by telling us all about your experience with road rage. Do you think this is worth the money? Have you ever experienced road rage before? Whether it's you doing the raging or being the one raged at, whatever it may be, just tell us all what happened in the comments below, and also comment down below on what you think about all this, and stay super.